Courchevel, which is a ski resort, at the last actually day of March 2023. One of the signs here says that risk of avalanche is 3 out of 5, and we are going up to try to see what it looks like up there. It says here when this closes, there are 2 things you can take here. So this is one of them, well actually 3, for pedestrians. So you see mountains. The sun is somewhat trying to make its way over here, but it's not very clear. So let me go to this one. All of them are kind of wet, but what can you do? It's not the most high Patrick, it's not the most fun one. I just finished skiing. It was second time in my life that I tried skiing. I really actually enjoyed it today. First time ever. First time when I did it, I told myself that I will never do it again. And here I am. So we will go, we will take several, what is called funicular, so this elevator that takes you up. This is the middle one. There are 3 in this area. The height is 1850, that's in meters, so 1,850 meters. I'm very bad with feet and all, so you tell me how much that is. Hi Patrick. Beautiful view. As much as we can see, people scratch windows here with poles, while skis and snowboards are left outside. Skis go inside. Not skis, but poles from the skis go inside. This is similar to tram that takes you to Roosevelt Island in New York, but not quite. Beautiful mountains. Weather has not been the best. It has not been it has been snowing most of the times, snowing or raining. Yeah. And today I did many hours of skiing, which is really not like me at all. I think this is the best view that I can show you today. Well, now, not today. When we get outside, I'll show you if we see anything, because sometimes vision is really poor. Hello, Dmitry. But so far, this is what it is. So we will try to take all 3 funiculars today, and if my phone does not die, I have less than half of my phone that was charged, so the battery is pretty low, but if it doesn't let us down, in that case I will also show you the city of Courchevel a little. Maybe we'll actually do it after this funicular. Good to see you, Dmitry. We can't see anything there, so this is the best view. A lot of snow. It didn't snow a lot this year, so a lot of snow this year was artificial, but there was no need for it this week because the snowstorm was crazy. There was hail today, it rained today, it was sunny, it was a little bit of everything today. So let me just move here now, show you the other side. I'm trying to find a place where it's less scratchy, but it's tough. When I was skiing, it was snowing almost non-stop. Well, snowing or raining, it was actually pretty beautiful, I should say. And when you have glasses on, you don't really notice that you don't really pay attention to this. So these things that go up, these are only for people with skis. You cannot go there with your feet because of how you get off at the top. So I skied from approximately, I think, this level, maybe yeah, like this is the level where I skied. I'm the beginner, so I just did it today with the second time, but I'm proud of myself because when I just did it first time, I didn't even know how to put on skis. Hello, transit in Montreal. First day when I was here, well, the second day after the snowfall, all the trees were covered in snow and it was like winter wonderland. So pretty. The same machine but closer to hotels that I took earlier, that makes several stops, so this one goes almost all the way to like as high as it can get. But the other machine that I took before, oh, there's a river here. Nice. It makes a lot of stops along the way. That clicking noise would make me nervous. That is exactly the noise that Roosevelt Island tram had before, but I think that they fixed it. And this is why it was pretty scary before. But I honestly, like, I'm not really afraid of heights, but when I went all the way to the top of this mountain, I was pretty scared, pretty damn scared, because first of all, you feel the pressure. So it's not like air, as many people might think, is becoming less. No, not at all. But like it's high, it's shaky, and it makes this noise. Plus, when you see that risk of avalanche is 4 out of 5, I mean, how much scarier can it be? This here now, and this one fits 8 people. I think others too, but they do look smaller. Yeah, I don't like that sound either. And it's not really high season now. Season is usually December through not even the second, well, maybe until mid-April. But now there are not a lot of people because most people come here in December, January and February. Much less in March, only maybe for like spring holidays in the USA. And people who come here from the USA who have been to mountains, who live in New York, who have been to mountains of Utah, of Colorado, of Vermont, of upstate New York, say that here it's the best. And to be honest, ski rental for a place as fancy as this one is not expensive. If you guys know what Hamptons are, so people type Hamptons, these are the type of people, this is the type of people who come here. Yeah, that sound is pretty scary. You are correct, Patrick. Déboule, salut. So now we're in Courchevel. J'ai fait un peu de ski aujourd'hui. I did some skiing today. I think that people who work at the hotel cannot wait for me to leave already. So there are several ways to get up. So I showed you. So the thing in which we are now. Also, some places you can get to by putting like it looks like a metal disc, small one, which you put between your legs, and it pulls you up. So you don't sit on it, you stand, and it just pulls you up. Then until some level there are cars that go, and also the type of thing similar to the one on which we are now, but where your legs are hanging. I think this is. Can we go any higher? Is that this? That's the third of the next type. I think that's it. Is it? Yeah, they're turning here. So we won't be exiting here. We will continue to we'll continue down. Then I'll show you the city of Courchevel, and then we will. Can I stay? Est-ce que je peux rester ici? Merci. And then I will take you to another one that goes higher, and maybe if I still have battery on my phone. There's nothing here really to see. It's only for people who ski. I think it's I don't know if it's green or if it's not green anymore. Yeah, but there is another one that goes even higher. So there is one that goes higher in first place, and then if it's open, because of the risk of avalanche, it's not always open. There is a second one that continues, that goes even higher. Awesome, génial. The hotel people want to kick Natalia out. Yeah, because I asked too many questions. It's all new to me, because people who come here, they probably come here every year, so they don't ask all the questions that people who work at the hotel might consider stupid, but I do. So are you ready? It starts off pretty fast, so get ready. Thank you, Nightbot. Iboula, est-ce que tu as été jamais à Courchevel? When I speak in French, I will also translate it into English. Have you ever been to Courchevel before, Neboul? Neboul lives in France. Oh, you said you have never been to Annecy. But what about Méribel or Courchevel? Méribel is another place not far from Courchevel. This is Courchevel. And Méribel is similar to this. I believe that in 1990 something there were Olympic Games that happened not far from there. Fasten your seatbelts, everyone. It was not that bad, but in some places it's really scary. Like, scary. And here is a little sign which tells you what you can and cannot do while on this tram. Let's call it a tram since it's similar to Roosevelt Island one. Nope, never. I usually don't ski. I was just saying that it was the first time that I skied myself. The first day I told myself that never again, but then today I couldn't stop. Each time I was going up, I told myself it was the last time, and then last time, and then it never ended. Oh, it did now. I think it will start snowing. I see that the clouds are approaching us, so it might get wet, so it might be snowy or rainy. But weather has been very odd. Hello, Ali from Iraq. It has been like all sorts of seasons were here during my stay. Like middle of winter when it's the most snowy. The driver from yesterday told me that it was there was no snow in January, there was really no snow in February, so they had to use a lot of fake snow. But now it's beginning to pick up. And a week ago when I came here. I'm leaving tomorrow. I actually moved my ticket yesterday. I was supposed to leave on Sunday, but that's a little too much for me, so I moved my ticket to go back to New York tomorrow, so soon. I didn't take umbrella, but I hope it won't be too bad. I even had to pay to change my ticket to go home early, but you cannot really do much here in the rain, and for the first time I think I've had great experience. Enough is enough. Oh gosh, why do people put poles on windows? I wanted to see Genève. Also, oh, these are the things that you put between your legs. They are down under us, and they pull you up. You cannot use them to go down, obviously. You have never been to France? Oh, you're so lucky, Patrick. So much to explore. Hello, RJ from Colorado. You must be skiing. You must love skiing. I also wanted to go to Mont Blanc, but I think it's better to go there now in summer rather than in season like that. Also, the guys are going backwards. That's crazy. I can hardly go frontwards and backwards. So I also wanted, so as I was saying, I wanted to go to Geneva, but they told me that Geneva is huge and you need a car there pretty much, because Geneva is separated into two parts. That's in Switzerland, for those who don't know, and that's where I'm taking the flight from. And to the lake, so the lake separates the two parts of Geneva, and to go from one place, if you are doing some sightseeing, to another, it might take a long time, and I didn't want to waste it this time. So tell us, RJ from Colorado, do you love skiing or do you do snowboard? And how is it in Colorado? Oh, these are the things that take you up as well, but only people who have skis. So without them, I wouldn't be able to go. And the price for unlimited use of the three things, similar to the one that we're using now, so that's one. Then there is one on the left and one on the right. So for pedestrians, so they call here piéton, pour piéton, it's $30 euros per day. While if you ski, I think it's 75 if I'm not wrong, or 80, something like that. Mont Blanc is nice, I heard. C'est quoi c'est quoi ça? C'est quoi ça? What does this word mean? Du midi. We're almost, no, we're still going down, and it is starting to either rain or snow. See how rapidly, it's like tropical weather, how rapidly weather changes here. It was just sunny a little while ago, now it's snowing, it can start raining, there can be a rainbow, it's like all seasons in one. It can be super warm, it can be worse. Yes, but I am 6 weeks post-op knee replacement, so will be well. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm wishing you a very fast and easy recovery. When I see that small kids go skiing, like they can hardly walk and they already know how to ski, that is very impressive. So when we go down, since it started snowing, we won't go up immediately, if at all again. But I will show you the city of Courchevel a little. Lac du Midi is a famous peak in Mont Blanc. I didn't know, okay. Thank you for letting me know. Looks magnificent, and is as well. Okay, so we are approaching the end. We can already see some houses. We cannot see anything because of the scratches, but trust me, we're getting closer. A minute and we'll be out of here. Too bad that we cannot see through. It's not like glass, it's plastic, and that's why it's so scratchy. It's very empty now, and you can make, for example, if someone likes appointments, likes massages, so if you make appointments to do these things in high season, which I think is December, January and February, maybe until mid-March, then it's like if you cancel, you need to cancel well in advance. Now, go whenever you want, it's all available. Yes, so a few more seconds and we'll be at the end of it. There are a lot of ski schools with little kids going without poles. Really impressive. And we'll be getting out now. Ski instructors are wearing red jackets with blue pants. That's a color of French flag. Yes, and now it will be, I hope, even better when we get out. I went skiing like 2 times. The result is why I didn't try a third time. Well, actually, I went skiing. So I had an instructor the first day, and I wanted to ski. I actually asked him to finish earlier, and I only took half a day of skiing, and then that's when I told myself, that's not my thing. But today I didn't stop. But I hear you, Patrick. I hear your pain. All right, so sortie, exit, and that's what we are doing. And let's go to the city. after skiing I have a very funny way of walking, or at least so I think, but it does feel a little weird. So again, the height of this place is 1850 in meters. If you guys can help me to transfer this into feet so that other people who are in America can understand how high this is, or maybe how low. So there is a church there, and the church makes so you can hear the bells of the church every, I think, 15 minutes. So Christmas trees stay here long. And you know what? Even if it's colder than in New York, it feels much warmer here. So I always complain about the cold when I'm in New York. Well, I always complain in the first place, but especially about the cold. And here you don't really feel it. It's perfect. These are ski instructors. I can ski pretty good, but I just can't stop. Oh, good job. Starting April 8th, there is a school holidays. Maybe some person will ski. Oh, but then a lot of places here close, I believe, on April 10th or 12th. So I doubt that people will go here. But who knows? Maybe just for a couple of days before it closes. Usually there are horses here, but I guess because of the weather and low demand, you don't see them now. And it says not to stand behind horses for obvious reason. Can it be? I don't know. I'm so bad with feet, but 6070 maybe. So we know who the artist of this one is. She also had something in front of Louis Vuitton just recently. There are expensive stores like Rolex, like Louis Vuitton, like Fendi, Dior. So you can see how fancy this place is. Blue. I can tell you miles. I can tell you more or less pounds, but feet, inches, and stuff like that, Fahrenheit, I really don't like, and I would never be able to tell how much that is. Gucci, skills, there are ski locations, location, it's when you rent, ski rentals everywhere. Of course, we don't do Louis. Without them, how could it be? Alright, so let's see what's here, then we'll go a little higher. There are free shuttles for people who want to travel here, just to visit maybe in one day if you are staying, for example, in Maribel. So, oh, this is a free shuttle. There are several lines, and there are shuttles for people who ski, but anyone can take them. So, for example, if I don't ski, I travel the other way to lake. It's called Lac de la Rosière. Nibble, correct me if I'm wrong. It's a beautiful lake. If you want, and even if you don't want, under community tab on my YouTube, I will post pictures from this lake. Though the light is not the best now, and as you can see, it's pretty gray, but just look at that lake. It's beautiful. But the problem is, so let me speak about shuttles first. So I took a bus that got me to one location, which is also Courchevel, but it's lower part of Courchevel. From there, I had to switch buses. So that was like a regular bus, the bus we imagine, right? Which you can see in New York and in other big cities. Then the shuttle is like the size that just passed. And I didn't know how far that lake was, so for me, it showed 5.5 kilometers away, which is approximately 3 miles away, 3.5 miles away. I'm like, okay, and what have I not done? I walk like 10 miles a day, 15 miles a day, that's 10 miles mostly. So it's nothing to me, right? So I'm like, okay, I'll just walk there. Yeah, right. Well, the vision when I started walking was so low, I could hardly see, like if I stretch my arm like that, I could hardly see tips of my fingers, right? Then there are no roads for pedestrians in some places. Plus, since it's a mountain road, you go up and down. So if I could not see tips of my fingers, imagine cars who were turning from behind the corner and who didn't see me. So I'm like, I'm not taking that risk. That was before I knew about free buses or buses in general. They're called here navette. Right, Nibul? Courchevel has many levels. The higher you go, the fancier it is. Oh, okay. So, I took the shuttle. So the bus driver, people here are super friendly, like so friendly. So I asked the bus driver. I actually didn't ask because I was just, I do it by myself. I don't want to bother people. He asked me himself if I needed help, and I told him that I was looking for this lake. So he told me to wait for the bus, but I didn't know how to check schedule. Well, not the bus, shuttle. So I didn't know how to check schedule and all. So I just decided to walk, and then the walk was up the mountain. So I walked and walked and walked and walked after I had waited for the shuttle for like 10 minutes. So buses, like regular buses, they run every 5 to 10 minutes depending on time of the day, while shuttles, they are more rare because they are used by yes, Patrick, they're used by fewer people. So I was like, each time I went there, each of the 2 times I went there, I was the only one on the shuttle. Maybe one time there was someone else. So I go by the shuttle, and then I just continue to walk. And then when I realized that it's too high and too much, plus all the snow now has melted, but believe me, there was snow to like to the level of my waist. Can you imagine that? I cannot imagine that it actually all melted now. So with that said, I will actually show you where the bus stop is. With that said, the shuttle that I was waiting for and it didn't appear, it picked me up somewhere like where there was no stop on while I was going up the mountain, and I went to the last stop. I didn't know it was the last stop because I thought there would be like some sign that there's this lake there. There was not. So the guy waited for like 5 minutes because he needed to take a break, and then he told me where to get off. And I'm like so brave, I think, oh cool, so now I can make it to the lake. Well, after that there is a whole long road to the lake still, and you go from the top of the mountain to the bottom of the mountain. When snow, as I said, was up till my waist, that was not the biggest problem. It took me an hour to get there, if not more. On the way back, I had an appointment which I could not cancel, and I had to rush back, and I was like so brave. Okay, I know the route now. Well, it was so tough, I tell you that. Not only was it tough, but I decided to take a shortcut. So if the angle of the road before was like this, shortcut was like this, and it was like this, but it seemed like this. Okay, with the snow, I take 2 steps forward, I ride back because not only it was snowy, but it was also slippery. I ride back twice that distance. So that was approximately how I took the shortcut, and it turned out that the person who was walking before me appeared to be at the end in front of me. Oh, Nibul, have a wonderful day. So that was pretty funny. But I did make it, and I went there pretty late, so I didn't spend some decent time there. That's why I went there the following day, already knowing all the tricks and how and what and what not. So I'm getting there, so I'm learning everything. And it's pretty cool. And I think, one day I'm like, since I'm so professional at skiing, I've never seen this here before. By professional I mean professional at skiing, having done it only now twice in my life. So I tell myself, okay, it's 4 p.m. so I'll go skiing. So I prepare myself to ski. I expected that by then people would be tired already, so it wouldn't be too crowded. No one would see the shame of me skiing. So I do that. I put on shoes which I rented. And then the guys like at the place where I rent skis, they say, but it's closed. I'm like, what do you mean? It like gets dark here, and they changed time last weekend, later by 2 weeks than in America. I hope that in America they won't, maybe one more time and that's it. Or maybe actually they won't, because now it gets dark later, which I prefer. Leonid, hello! It's snowing like hard now. So there are before I continue, so there is the only shop in this area, and it's called Courchevel. I think it's local market. Carrefour, it's like crosswalks in English. Prices are decent, but especially for this place. So, what was I saying? Oh yes, and I'm like, what do you mean? It gets dark at 8, if not later. And they're like, yeah, but like you cannot go up after certain hour. I'm like, oh la la, how come? And I had to mentally prepare myself to go skiing, because as I told you, I just didn't want to do it after first time. So this is the bus stop. It's not very obvious, but I'll show you. Let's come close and then we'll go up. I'm already professional, I know everything here. So you see that there are roads for pedestrians here, but it's not everywhere. So there is trash, everything is neat, everything is nice. Bags for dog. The road for pedestrian just abrupt stops at some point, and only cars can go there. So ski bus, as you can see, and if it passes I will show you what it looks like. And again, it's completely free and extremely convenient. So let me show you view from the other side. But you know what? In the beginning I didn't even know how to put on skis. I didn't know how to take them off. I didn't know how to get up to ski. I didn't know how to put on mask. I didn't know anything. Now when a girl asked me what to start, sorry guys, I had a call. I felt so cool because I was able to tell. So how to start skiing if you have never skied before, at least what you see here in France. You go to a certain level and you ask where there is what is called a tapis, carpet. So that's like a running road. So it's like, it's not very long, but it's something that takes you up at a very insignificant level, not level but angle, and it just pulls you up. So you stand on your skis, and you know, like it's escalator without steps. So that's what I can compare it to. So it goes up, and then from there is usually a hill which is not very steep. It's really simple, so it's almost flat, but at the same time it does have an angle. Oh, the bus has passed, but it will be turning and it will go back, but it's just a regular bus. So it goes at an angle so that you can still slide down. How they call here the position which you have to put your pizza, and it looks like a slice of pizza because you put feet, even though I have international plan on my phone, but it is what it is. So yeah, so the more open the slice, the faster you stop. And now we go buffering. I saw, because I think it should be better now. Let me know. Even though this place is pretty small, there is even a school in this area, which is right here. There is a lot of wildlife. There are a lot of interesting birds. Bears still sleep, thank God. I did see deer the other day when I actually went to that lake. And when I asked concierge to tell me where there is... Good now, perfect, thank you. Where, if there were like any interesting like lakes around here, he told me about two. So one I really liked. That's why after having visited that one second time, I wanted to proceed from there to second lake, which is in a different city called Maribel, which I mentioned earlier. So this is school. And the road to Maribel from here is like 15 minutes by car. Well, guess what? I asked the car from the hotel to pick me up from that lake, the first lake, take me to Maribel Lake. I expected it to be very beautiful because they told me it's bigger, and it is bigger. But I'll tell you why I prefer the first one a little later. And then so the driver waited for me. So took me there for 15 minutes, waited for me for 10 minutes, and took me back to the hotel, which took about not even 30 minutes, like 20 minutes. All right. So all in all, it was 1 hour. Just for you to understand the level of prices here. And again, it's not high season. How much do you think that ride cost in euros? Hello, Frank the Tank. Yes, is it snowing in Wisconsin? Funny story. Oh, I have many funny stories. Okay, so I think I answered everything. So how much do you think that ride is? Which is 1 hour, let's say. How much is a euro in American? I'm not sure, but I think 1.1, 1.2. You can even write in dollars. Sergey, hello! I showed going up. I showed the city of Courchevel, snow and sun and mountains. Mountains might not be seen soon because it started snowing, but later on it might clear. 8,500. Guys, no. Take higher. Other ideas? One more guess and I'll tell you the correct answer. It's type Hamptons here. So I'm saying this once again. 180. No, it was 450 euros. 450, which is about 500 US dollars. 5 creepy $100 US. Can you imagine? No, не пульте, это жугля. You are still here. 450 euros. So almost 500, or maybe more than $500. Crazy. Just crazy. So a ride from Geneva airport to here takes about just about 2 hours. I don't even want to mention how much it costs. Yes, crazy. So this is the church that I showed you from the other side, and we'll be going a little higher now. I'm listening and working. Oh, multitasker. Good job, Nibble. And before I didn't even know that you could snow or ski when it snows or ski when it rains. But now I know. Now I'm professional. Ooh, snowing pretty badly. But it's okay. I should have taken an umbrella, but when I left, it was actually sunny, and it can still be sunny in like 1 minute. Okay, since it's windy, and again, it's not cold at all. And surprisingly, like things compared to prices of hotels, for example, or well, for rooms at the hotel, for other things that you do here, surprisingly, I would say that like things like massage, that's relative to that, it's not very expensive. For example, 55-minute massage costs 165 euros. It's actually hail, it's not even snow, which they promised. Yeah, let's get a little higher now. Not high though, right? Not type high. At least now you can walk on pedestrian roads. Before, when it was snowing and then the next day it was minus 12 degrees Celsius, which is like what, 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and then it started all melting. It was like a one big slide. And since I walk a lot, I cannot live without walking. To me it was an adventure. Well, I'm not familiar with this specific neighborhood, but look, people don't walk here. People either ride, you see it's hail. I don't know if you can see it, but it is pretty intense. So people don't walk here. They either ride, they either ski, or they ride in a car, or they take a transfer. Oh, it's beautiful now. It's nice. I have not been to this part myself yet, so we're exploring this together. Go up, because now you wouldn't be able to see anything there. It's all covered in snow. But isn't it beautiful? Snow almost on April 1st, like Fool's Day. If I told someone that it snows on April 1st, I'm sure that that person would tell me that, oh yeah, sure, I believe you. Happy April's Fool's Day. Well, it's almost that. Have you had any good food there yet? Oh my god. So at the hotel where I live, it's half board, which means breakfast and dinner both are included, and unfortunately they are too good, like so delicious. Each day it's different for dinner, but breakfast is more or less the same. Oh, it's snowing badly. And each time, so they give you soup, and then for then they give appetizer, one of the two to choose from. Same with the main dish. Then they bring you a tray with different cheeses, and finally dessert. But funny enough, if you want to take any drinks, including water, tea, not to say anything about alcohol, guys, let's go up because it started to be windy this way, so let's go down now, okay? And then to just a different direction, not up, down. So, and there are some people who walk. So if you take that, then you have to pay extra money. Take a guess now how much you would pay for a bottle of just regular water. And water, we're not in Africa, so water is not something water is something that you can easily get here. I tell you, I'll pick you up when you return to New York. You spent enough money. Well, it was partially let's put it that way, it was a present, partially, but thank you. Now I will only move by, well, if I had a car now I would probably be switching to transport, as they say, number 11, which has been 2 feet. Chloe, hello. 20 or 30, 70 euros for a bottle of water. It's not a small bottle, it's like 1 liter, I think, but still. I mean, in a place where you can get water just from melting the snow, and thank God I don't drink water. But at the same time, it's funny because each night they put 2 paper bottles of water in the room. Hello, hello. So they try to save on some things, but at the same time, it's really bizarre. Or you can, for example, take water during breakfast, just keep it and take it with you to dinner. And water for breakfast is free, so what's the point? I mean, I can understand that alcohol is extra, but why not include water and, you know, like, tea, maybe Coke. Yeah. So we came from the right side, and now we'll go a little higher on the other side, and I'll show you slopes again. Oh, they carrying water. Exactly what I said. How do you like the snow? I love it actually, because in New York it didn't really snow this year. I wouldn't say that it snowed at all, because snow didn't really stay on the ground, so that doesn't count, right? And when I came here, on one hand, normally I would complain, oh, it's snowing, I had enough, or how Nebul would say, je n'ai marre de la neige. But here, to see snow and how beautiful it was and how clean it was, not that snow that is not staying on the ground now, but the snow that actually covered all the houses, all the cars, all the trees. It was amazing and so pure, you know. So here we have not yet walked with you, and I will be posting pictures again, guys. Don't forget to check community tab on the YouTube, because that's where I post some information, some pictures. I have not been very proactive about this during that trip, but I will once I'm less busy. Yes, Nebul. Je sais que tu connais de quoi il s'agit. I know that you know what I'm talking about. Dum dum dum. So I'll show you which one we took. So there are 3, as I told you, trams that are covered, that go up. So see the pedestrian road, it goes, it goes, it goes, then it stops. Sometimes when it stops on one side, it starts on the other side, on the opposite side. So here there are pedestrian roads everywhere, but on the level of bus stop, it just ends altogether on both sides. So let me show you where we were earlier. There are not many flags that support Ukraine here, really. And the French people, they don't really have their impression of the war. But, and I think that French are actually more for Russians, but I'm not exactly sure. But you don't feel that the same thing about it here in France compared to US. So again, this is where we pretty much started. So we took a tram from not the first but the second one, not this one that you see going up, but the one behind it, the black one. The the white one makes several stops along the way. Then there is this thing that that's what you put between your legs, see, and it pulls you up. That's what I spoke to you about earlier. And then whenever you want to slide down, you just let it go, or you can do it at the very end of it. When it snowed, and it snowed a lot the first time I was skiing, you couldn't just let it go anywhere. So that is it. That neared the end of today's stream. I hope that you enjoyed something, that you saw something different, and as I explained to you, each time during my streams, I'm mostly streaming from New York, but it can also be from one of my travels. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, that's what you have to do. Put the like under this video. People who will watch replay, bonjour from France. And to everyone else, and to people who will watch replay, and to new followers, and if you're not new yet, then you should subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time from New York. I did skiing twice, Frank, this time, first time in my life. This was in the beginning of the stream. If you want to watch the replay, I'll see you guys. Bye bye. Bye, Anton.